As far as I'm concerned, there's no justice being served here. So do what you want to do, because I'm not in your hands. I'm in God's hands.
I would like to welcome everybody.
Welcome to Make This Go Viral, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. We in the building, y'all. What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in to Make This Go Viral TV. I am your host, Miss V. How y'all doing today out there? Shout out to 𝒯🾂 Douglas. She is the one that requested this recap. Hi, with pain comes strength, Miss Sheri. This is the lady that we are talking about, along with her daughter. Sheri, one of my subscribers, asked me to do a recap on our interview. And so I was going to just go over the interview. Welcome in, Rashonda. Thank you for coming in. How are you doing? How you doing today, Miss Sheri? So you going to be here for the recap. Where you at, 𝒯🾂? And Sheri, you definitely can come up here if you want. You are welcome. You welcome, 𝒯🾂. And you better not go to sleep. Don't be going to sleep yet. I know you work third shift and all, but you requested this, and this is why we are here. So it's a bittersweet thing. Desiree Thompson's mother is in the chat right now. This is her. With pain comes strength. Much love to you, Miss Sheri. Much love. Like, this lady is amazing. And I want to know how your podcast, when you start, she's starting her own podcast, y'all. She learned how to do some of the things. She went to a school to learn this. She had a graduation recently, and she is taking all of her pain and turning it into strength for others. and for herself, you know, because a lot of time when you put, that's why it's important to know what's important to you or your passion. That way, when you put it out there, it's genuine. People can feel it and they know that it's true. Like Sheri has been through so much in life that we could all learn from it. You know, you got to keep going. That's the biggest thing. Never give up, she said. You just don't give up. And you never know how strong you are until you have no choice but to be strong, you know, until you're put in a situation where you can't be weak. And Sheri actually went through that already when she lost her soulmate, which is Desiree's dad. So she had already had the darkest moment of her life, and she decided she was not going to go back there. And not only that, Sheri had to raise her grandchildren. You know, she had to be strong for her babies. So if you all could give Sheri love in a chat, I would greatly appreciate that. I am here, Miss V. Give me a few moments for chat, but I am listening. That's fine. That's fine. Much love to you and everyone in chat, Sheri said. Thank you, Sheri, for sharing your story with us. Desiree's story. I mean, it's your whole family story because all of y'all are going through it. Welcome in, Buddha. And just thank you for allowing us to know about Desiree. You know, it's an honor to have met you. I draw strength from you. Some of this interview, we laughed. You know, she cried. And at the end, she left strong. So you got prayers for her. Thank you so much, LeSean Jefferson. I appreciate that. Prayer is needed. So I'm not gonna waste any time. Hey, Paul, welcome in. Long time no see, Paul. How you been? Paul is Jelani Day's good friend. They went to school together from, I want to say, kindergarten to high school. So shout out to you, Paul. Thank you for coming through from Facebook. And shout out to everybody that's tuning in from Facebook. I appreciate you guys. Please share this out. It's important that everybody know about Desiree Thompson. That is very, very important. Desiree Thompson went missing, and she was missing for over 10 years. And they finally found her. You know, it wasn't the way that her mom or her children wanted to see her loved one. But she did come home. You know, Sheri, it was one thing I heard you say that I was just like, wow, this was, I forgot to mention it in the interview, but I seen you said on Ray Shine 100 that somebody actually walked up to you and told you that they had seen Desiree somewhere. Somebody that was, you know, a family friend, or I don't remember if you said a friend of yours or a friend of, I think you said it was a friend of Desiree's, that she actually came up and said, hey, I seen Desiree such and such place or whatever. And you know, it's some cruel people in this world. I don't know why that person would do that either. Just like Sheri said. But I know that you broke all ties with that person. But how could anybody be so cruel? We know now the night that Desiree went missing is the same night that she was murdered. Okay? So nobody's seen her. And for somebody to tell her mother that, it's a damn shame. I'm doing good. How about you? I'm doing good, Paul. Thank you for asking. Thank you so much, Buddha, for sharing. Shout out to you, Buddha. Thank you for being here. Wish was a better moment, lady, but you got them. Yeah. Thank you so much for all the love and prayers and support. Yes. Amen. At least she is home now, put to rest. Many blessings. Oh my God, Buddha. And you know, that was one of the amazing parts of this interview, that Desiree showed up. Desiree showed up in this interview, y'all. And I'm not gonna give it away. We just gonna watch it. So, hey, what's up, 𝒯𝒽𝒃? Thank you for coming in. Welcome to Make This Go Viral. Thank you for linking to my channel, and I've linked to you as well. Amen. At least she's home now, put to rest. Many prayers and blessings. And in that matter, come up to me. I'ma break their face and walk off. Yeah, that's crazy, man, Buddha. But she didn't know. Sheri didn't know. You know, she had her suspicions, but she didn't know. I just think it's some cruel people in this world. But I'm not gonna delay. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up this interview, and we gonna get into it. Anybody, if you want to come up and ask some questions or whatever, you can do that. As 𝒃꫰, I know you relaxing or whatever. I would invite you. Can come up here too. I know you ain't, but you are welcome. And I'm gonna drop the link here in a minute. If anybody have any questions, put them in the chat. And I'm gonna go ahead and let this play. Like, first of all, let's correct what I said, because yeah, tell us what happened.
Okay, so evidently, the night that my daughter came up missing, what ended up happening, because everybody knows that I spoke to her at 8:30 that night. I was told that she had left from the apartment that she was at around o'clock that evening. At some point, she came in contact with her husband, and they were arguing or whatever they were doing, and my daughter had walked off. Well, now the suspect, who this really put a real twist on everything, is somebody my daughter didn't know. None of us knew. Not a person that any of us would have had anything to do with. Just because we wouldn't have, it's not somebody we would have been around. Or so this guy was 50 years old at the time. He supposedly went to
Desiree was 31 at the time, right?
Desiree was 30.
30, okay.
Yeah. So this guy evidently went to some party. It was in an article that it was a what was it called? I forget what the name of it was. My brain just went dead. But anyway, it was, to me, when I saw it, I thought demonic. But it wasn't that. It was a bunch of teens, like older, I would say 18 to 20-year-olds, 21, somewhere around in there, having a party.
Welcome in, Buddha. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I got started this morning. I got an email saying you are now a YouTube partner. I was like, what? I
You
was
got monetized,
trending.
Buddha?
Yeah.
Yes.
I got my super chat thing. I was like, what? I got the super chat thing.
Dang, congratulations.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I gotta thank you, 𝒃𝒽𝒪 Extra, trending, everybody.
Man,
But it's
especially
like
trending
everybody's going live, so yeah,
well,
she
you
working
welcome
very
for
hard.
all I did. Anything that I may have done, I don't know. You help everybody, so I thank you.
Yeah. No, I thank you. You told us to go over and check out 𝒃𝒽𝒪. I went over and checked them out, and I like this content. And I feel like I hit the jackpot when he came up and talked to us.
Right.
What? I was like, what?
That was cool. And I did an
Yeah.
interview with him on him too.
Yeah.
If everybody please smash the thumbs up. I don't know. It looked like it's only 2, but you know how that be when you on live. The thumbs up in the comments is what let YouTube circulate the video around to let YouTube know that everybody is enjoying it. So please smash the thumbs up as you come in. Yeah, okay, so I have 6.
You have a question in the chat?
What's your question?
No, from
I see your
LaShawn
question.
Jefferson.
Okay, the answer to your question is I don't know because I had just came in there.
But
So,
at what time did you come in? Like at 4?
Yeah, it was like probably 4:30ish, 5, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Maybe.
there you go, 4:30. Because I woke up at that at 4:20, 4:25, and I saw you. So I was like, "Hey, Miss B," and I was like, "Chad, why you got me up here in the middle, man?" I'm like, "Hello." I'm like, "Man, okay, bye," and I got out.
Yeah, he asked for closing remarks and you didn't say nothing. And he asked you twice. So I mean, I knew you was asleep because you wasn't saying nothing.
I don't stay up that late.
Right.
I told him. I told him before I go up. I told him, Chop, I gotta get up at 5 in the morning, so I'm only gonna come up for a few minutes. So I came on. He was like, I appreciate it so much. And a few minutes passed to like 4 something in the morning. I saw. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, it's all right. I guess everybody fell asleep on the panel at least once.
Well, thank
I
God
don't
my
think I
camera
did
was
it yet though.
closed.
I don't think I did that one yet because I be asleep already. I already know. But
No, if you go into Chop's lives, you'll fall asleep. That shit
nah,
starts from 10 to like 4 or 5 in the
I'm
morning. I
already
don't know how he does it.
I already be asleep at 10.
Yeah.
I be knocked out. So Lee said, feel for her how you console her after it happened. Well, I mean, I didn't know Miss Sheri when it happened. And I
Yeah.
really don't know how one is consoled after that. To be wondering about your child for 10 years, wondering their whereabouts, if they're being harmed. In her heart, though, she knew. She knows her daughter. Her daughter lived with her all her life.
Yeah.
She only moved out for maybe a year and a half or 2.
Oh wow.
She had been living with her mom the whole time, her, the kids, and everything. She
Oh
got
my
with this
god.
guy, got married, or I don't know, the time
Have a
frame.
great night, Paul.
Huh?
I'm saying have a great night to Paul. From
Oh, see you
Facebook.
later, Paul. Thank you for coming in. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this video play. You was here for this interview, wasn't you, Buddha?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I thought so.
I have a question though.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Did I hear her right say that the guy was 15?
What guy was 15?
The one who
Hey,
committed
Mr.
the
Reed
action
in the building.
against her. Hi, Sheri.
Hi, sweetie. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
I know. Okay, that's
Yes, thank
good.
you for coming up.
Yeah.
So, what is your question? Because she's up here now.
Yeah. When you were talking on the video, I know it freezes. The house freezes. Did you say the guy was 15?
The guy was 50 years old when it happened. He's 60.
Oh, 50. Okay, okay.
He's 60.
He's 60 now.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
old. He was an old guy, and this was like a young people's party. So,
What
Sheri,
the
I know
heck?
Sheri says she's not even sure why he was even over there. With
Oh
those
my
young kids
God.
and stuff.
Party was like young adults. It wasn't. I don't think there was anybody there possibly over 24, 25 years old. They were walking around with mohawks and goth stuff, from what I understand. So I mean, he'd stick out like a sore thumb. I don't even know why he would even take himself to this particular party.
Yeah, and so what happened? He had got kicked out of the party, and he vowed that he would hurt somebody and all of this. But you're gonna hear it as we're talking. And Sheri, stop me anytime if you want to elaborate on anything, because you know how you kind of like, I even forgot that one part. Do you want to talk about that? Because I was so mad I didn't ask you. That lady that told you she had seen Desiree.
Yeah, so this female is somebody I've been on for a long time. She knew my daughter when she was a lot younger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you can just walk up and say, you just sit up there and say that, oh yeah, that's Desiree, and it not really be her. You know what she looks like. You know how she talks. You know her mannerisms. How could you just sit up there and bold-faced lie to me and tell me that my daughter is working at this McDonald's out there in Palmdale, and that you've talked to her, and my daughter's laying in the grave dead?
Oh my goodness.
Now, wait a minute though. How long was this after Desiree had went missing that she actually said that?
She did that. This was several years. This was like, this lady told me this in probably around 2015, 2016, somewhere around in there. My daughter had been gone.
What year again was she?
Me being a mother, you know, I naturally, okay, I'm knowing in my gut, because I already feel that my daughter is no longer here, but I feel in my gut that, you know, there's still a little hope. Let me see. You know what I'm saying? So I called the police department and I told the detective, and he sent somebody out there to check on it, and it wasn't my daughter. It was a girl named Desiree, but it wasn't my daughter.
Oh my God. She knew that wasn't her.
She knew that wasn't my daughter. She knew that wasn't my daughter, and that's what made me mad. I haven't talked to the girl since.
That was very cruel, because that gives you hope, you know? Right. But you knew in your heart, because you said Desiree would never walk away from her kids or you.
She's my daughter, and I would never do that to her. I would never do that to somebody. And, you know, everybody that knows me and knows my daughter knows how close my daughter and I were. We were all in one. We were one. And how that's cruel. That's cruel to do something to somebody, especially when you know them so well.
That's cold-blooded.
My daughter, but you still called me, made it a point to call me and tell me that was my daughter out there.
Yeah, unbelievable. And she knew. She just wanted to say something. That's awful. Now, you said you think it was around 2015, but what year did Desiree go missing?
2012.
2012. So 3 years later, this woman tells her mom she's working at a McDonald's. That's cold-blooded. Yeah. So this is actually a miracle, Lee, because he said I'm still stuck on finally after 10 years. Yeah, it's a miracle, really, because the way that the guy had disposed of her and buried her and all that stuff, if he wouldn't have talked, we wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, if he hadn't got caught and then decided to tell some of his church members what he had done, we probably wouldn't be where we are now.
So thank God he talked, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead. If you don't have anything else to say, I'm gonna go ahead and let it play.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Walk around with mohawks and whatever, you know, probably a party or something. And so he goes to this party. He's not invited. He doesn't know anybody there. Just goes. First of all, I find that really peculiar when you're 50 years old. Anyway, right. He goes in there. So evidently what he did was he got inappropriate with some of the females in there, whether it be physical or verbal, I don't know. Some of the guys put him out. Upon putting him out, he was pushed down. So he gets mad. And he gets so angry. He goes home, he gets angrier. He gets back in his truck and he comes back and sits down the street from the party. And he gets even more angry. What his thoughts were that he was going to sit there and wait for somebody to come from the party that assaulted him. And as he sat there longer, he was like, he didn't care who it was. First person walks by, he's going to kill him.
Oh my God.
So my daughter happened to be that person. Now I have a problem with what he stated, that he offered my daughter a beer.
Yeah.
My daughter, first of all, my daughter does not drink beer.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, my daughter would not have got in that car or truck with him, not knowing him. He's an illegal alien from El Salvador with broken English. My daughter would not have got in the vehicle with him.
Wow, so he's some weirdo guy.
He how he got my daughter in that vehicle, I don't know.
He probably had a gun or something.
And this is what I told the detectives. First of all, anybody that knows my daughter would tell you she would not have got in the vehicle with him, and she would not have got in there on the whim of going to have a beer when she doesn't drink beer. So
total made up story.
Right. So so that's what, you know, he's not even owning up to this part of it. He only owns up to the part of going to the party. He places himself at the party. He admits to being angry, but when it comes to the part of my daughter, oh, we have a lapse of memory. We don't even know what he's talking about. So he gets my daughter to his house, which, like I said, it would have had to be fourth. The only thing is
a rave party is what autism
probably is. So, absolutely. So I told the detective, you know, I understand the fact that unless somebody saw him force her in the vehicle, you guys have to kind of just go by what he's saying.
Yeah.
I get that. But I know, and everybody else knows, she didn't get in there willingly. So somehow he gets her to the house. At some point in this article, it stated that he bashed her head into
the refrigerator or something.
A mini fridge. He stabbed her.
Yeah.
Repeatedly. He stabbed her. Mind you, he had to catch her off guard because my daughter is bigger than him, and my daughter would have fought him. She would have beat the living daylights out of him.
Yeah, especially under the
circumstances. So he had weapons. He had the weapons, and somehow he had to get her to where she's not in her right mind. So evidently bashing her head into the mini fridge was what threw her off to where she couldn't fight him. He stabbed her to death, and he spent the rest of the night digging a hole in his backyard of a home that he rented.
Wow.
And there buried my daughter.
I'm so sorry, Sheri. Man, that, you know what? That's I don't even have the words for what that is. But I'm so happy that is it true that he told somebody about it? And now he's sitting up here trying to act like it didn't happen.
He got drunk and he told somebody from his church, of all places. Somebody went to church with.
Whoa.
How
long after it had happened? Did he tell?
Oh, it had to have been soon after, because this guy was afraid of being deported, him and his son. And so he wrote a letter to CCPD and sent it. CCPD says they don't know nothing about this letter. The letter was sent in 2012.
What? So it is true. That's what I was going to ask you. Is it true that somebody told before, but you're saying that this actual guy told himself?
No, he didn't. No, the informant. I'm sorry. The informant wrote he told. So he went and got drunk.
Someone at his church told.
And somebody at his church, I guess they were having some little get together or something. I don't even know the scenario, but he ended up telling this guy and his son what he did. He told multiple people what he did, but a lot of the other people, the detective said that they thought he was just some drunk with some wild stories.
Oh, come on. You got to take somebody seriously if they say it.
Right. So nobody else came forward with these two. The informant came forward again when he saw me on the news pleading for my daughter.
Same person in 2012, the same person that told. Yes. That is unreal.
Yeah, he was in tears. He's still afraid of being deported, but he knew he had to do something.
Oh, so the witness, the guy that he told, was afraid of being
Right.
deported. I thought you were talking about the other guy.
Yeah, the other one, he's illegal too.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so all of them are illegal. They're all illegal, but the informants, they're illegal as well. And he was afraid of being deported. And he had talked to his boss and told his boss this story. And his boss told him, he said, look, he says, write an anonymous letter and give it to them. Send it to them. So we don't know where the letter went to.
You know, so what you were saying in the beginning is true. Like, they really wasn't doing no investigating, even ruling out or whatever. They never called him.
No, because they could. Yeah, because had they done that, even when I went to them in 2015, they could have found and realized that, okay, there is another suspect. He's not done. Process of elimination. You never talked to him. He still hasn't been spoken to. He still hasn't been.
Has he researched, or you don't know?
He's not going to contact me. That's for sure. You know, I don't know. They may try to get a hold of him and let him know. Look, you know, you're not the one in trouble. We need you for this. You know, I don't know. Will he come? I don't know.
Yeah, because
can they make him?
You're still thinking though that he was probably one of the last people to talk.
You know what? It's like I told the detective. At this point, her husband is not off the hook to me.
Okay.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, because no, he didn't have anything to do with murdering her, but he didn't protect her. You still argued with her that night and you let her walk off if you did not make sure that she got home safely, regardless of you guys arguing.
Well, he didn't only argue, right? Didn't he put a gun up to her and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a real fight because wasn't that kind of stuff. Yeah. So he was the reason why she had to flee, you know, and that put her in danger.
Yeah, well, when I got off the phone with her, I knew she was going to call him. I knew she was. And they met up after my phone call and argued some more, and she walked off and he left her out there, not making sure that she got home safe that night.
So the friend, so the misspeaking that I did actually came from the news because they're the ones that told that story.
Yeah.
But then the other part, I said something about her being at her friend's house and she had left to go to the store, right?
So the incident, the domestic violence happened at her apartment. And that evening she left her apartment and went to another apartment where it was mutual friends of her and her husband. And that's when she was trying to get a hold of a phone or something like that. That's when she called me. And she left off of 83rd Street around 9:00 that night. That's the apartment she was at. She lived on 68th Street.
Okay.
Now, mind you, this just goes to show you, she was on 83rd Street at that apartment, leaving that apartment. Where her and her husband ended up at arguing, I don't know. But this guy's house was on 86th.
Okay. So
only a few streets over.
Yeah, 83rd to 86 is what.
So this sick man lived in that house with her in that backyard for a while.
And
he walked around that town for 10 years like nothing, like he never does it.
Wow. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. And then, I mean, with him denying everything now, first of all, he admitted it to somebody, but now he's denying it because I seen a video, article or something about that. But what's the point of denying it if you've already confessed to somebody? Just be honest about it.
And the thing is
what's the motive? Oh, well, the motive is he was mad, but she ain't have nothing to do.
Yeah, he's mad. What person? This is a sick man, and this cannot be this man's first time doing.
Nope.
A person doesn't just do this their first time at the age of like it's nothing.
Yep. They catch him, they miss others.
You know, that's where
like the lady you was working with, right? Her daughter's murder hasn't been found, or has they?
They not when they got when they sent Desiree's
Okay, this thing is so annoying. So I was trying to mute it. It takes a minute because my signal is down. But Sheri, I wanted to ask you, did anything new since you did this interview? Did you talk to anybody or did you go to court or anything like that?
The court isn't until so they have a motions hearing. The motions hearing will be on the 27th of this month. But really, the motions hearing really isn't for us to go to. It's basically for the attorneys and the judge and the attorney, the DA and the attorneys. What they'll go over what motions they're presenting or whatever. And then there'll be another readiness hearing that comes up on. Let's see, put my calendar. I believe it's the 27th. I don't have it on here. It's the 27th and the 29th. So the 27th is a readiness hearing, and the 29th is supposed to be the jury trial, but they already told me that the jury trial date will change.
Okay. So you don't know when there's going to be a full trial, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
No, they said that when they go to motion, the prosecutor, what happens with a motion is he'll have his attorney or the public defender, then the state will present what they have so far in the case, and this is what happened. They'll say to the judge will go ahead and set either a date for the jury, and he will remain in jail. If he's still in jail, I don't know if he's bonded out or what.
Does he have a bond?
He has no bond.
Oh, good.
Okay, good. So he won't even be bonded out. He'll just go back to jail, and he'll have to sit to come back for another court date to decide about the jury and everything.
Yes.
And then if it's gonna go to trial or if the state's gonna make a deal with him.
There's no deal to be made.
It better not be. Yeah. So they already said deals ain't even on the table. What is he looking at? Life or death?
Life. Life without.
Life without parole.
I specifically told the detective. I said, even if there was a death penalty, I don't want it. And the reason why I don't want it is because what happens is they go sit on death row for years to come, and they're basically in a room. They have their own TVs. They're like celebrities in there. They have this clout or whatever. I don't want him having nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing. He gets
you
nothing.
Want him to remember everything that he did, because it's the easy way out is to do the death penalty. I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't want that. So I told the detectives the only deal he gets from me is life without. I want him in general population with all the rest of them people. Let him walk around that yard looking over his shoulder. Let him sleep every night with one eye open, wondering who's going to shank him. I want him to fear. I want him to suffer.
Yep.
I don't want nothing for him. Nothing. He gets nothing from me.
Yep. And then I remember you saying this is a guy that was a illegal immigrant, should have never been here. His wife or something died like shortly before that or something like that.
I think she died a year or two prior to all of this happening. So she died of cancer, from what I understand.
I just find it so hard to believe that this was this guy's first time ever doing something like this.
Even the detectives and the DA, none of them believe that.
No way. I wonder what type of life did his wife have with him, like
it's like yeah, exactly. Me too. The thing is that a person doesn't just get that angry at that age. They've had to have been an angry person all their lives, for one, which I'm not denying that he might have been a very angry person all his life. He comes from a country that's very, very violent. But the thing is at the age of 50, the average person is trying to chill out, relax, and have some sort of peace in their life. They're not trying to go out there and deal with being that angry that they
exactly. You got a great point. As old as he is, I mean, at that time, you are trying to be a better person. You know, you're not trying to do stuff like that. Going out partying, acting like you 22 again. Like what?
Yeah, why are you trying to go to a party with a bunch of kids? Why? You know,
You should have stuck with his church folks.
yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. I don't want to be around a bunch of youngsters like that, going and partying.
I don't either. I don't even go to the clubs and stuff no more because when I was that age, I did all of that. When you
Exactly.
get in your 40s and 50s, it's time to be a grandparent and chill out. Let kids do what kids do.
You want
Now,
peace
Lakeisha,
in life. You want peace. You don't want that. I don't. I just don't understand why. And the fact that he was really out of place going to this particular party. Um, I I can't wrap my head around why he even went to that. But for him to be that angry and then go from, well, I'm gonna basically he's gonna retaliate on somebody from that party that assaulted him to I don't care, I'm just gonna kill somebody. That's a sick individual.
I
That's a,
keep muting my mic because the cars, y'all probably hear this loud car. I'm outside. My apologies. And then
oh,
my internet keep going back down. Okay.
yeah,
So
but
I wanted to ask you, you can type in the chat if you have any questions for Miss Sheri, because Lakeisha wanted a recap on this. I just wanted to make sure she understood everything that was going on. You can go ahead, Miss Sheri. I'm sorry.
yeah, it just baffles me that this old person decides he wants to go to some young kid party, and then you get that angry that you become that violent. But now, um, um, so I was supposed to pick up my daughter's death certificate this week, and that got short stopped. Because now they have to do an amendment to it. They have to amend her death certificate. Um, so the
So
story
that
of,
means they have to add something else to it.
yeah,
What they gotta add?
yeah, it's still homicide, but the thing is that the part about the refrigerator now, um, I think that's a lie. Because what they told me, which was very devastating, I think that the person that worked for the coroner's office was very insensitive in telling me
Uh-huh.
how she told me. But there was the coroner literally found a chopping marks to my daughter's skull and other parts of her body, her bones. So there's a chopping. So I'm thinking this man did not he did not bash her head into the refrigerator, but he took the machete to her head, and that's probably what killed her.
My God, man.
I don't know. I don't know. I have to wait for everything to come back, but it's the only thing that I mean, what would be the purpose of the chopping marks to her head if if he bashed her head into the mini fridge?
Right. And I'm so sorry. I mean, when you said machete, it shocked me because I had not read any articles. I seen a few videos, but I wanted to talk to you, so I didn't read anything. And you was the first one to let me know that was something that they said.
Yeah.
Only thing I can think of is that he was telling church people, so he wanted it to not sound as bad as it really was, and he left out some facts.
Yeah, I don't even understand why he would even. I mean, he's just drunk and incoherent and not realizing what the heck he's saying. To sit up there.
Roro is praying for you. She says she's in the chat. Hi, Roro. Man, go
Hey,
ahead.
bro.
I'm sorry.
You know, I don't know why he would be so stupid as to get that drunk to sit up and tell church people what he's done, to tell anybody what he's done, because
Thank God he did.
this is going back to the part of how sick this man is, that if this was his first time, why was he still walking around that town? Why did he stay in that house after he buried her in the backyard? Why did you stay in that town all these years after you murdered her?
See, everything don't make sense because, like you said, he could have fled. He could have went back to his old country, and nobody would have ever known. But he was crazy and sick enough to think that he would be able to do that and stay where he was.
Well, you know, he
buried
the knife with her, and he kept the machete. He kept the machete like a trophy.
You know, they do that. That right there is why I don't believe it. That's one of the reasons I don't believe it was his first time. Somebody doing something for the first time, you gonna go all out like that? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I hope they can pin other ones on him. Shout out to Romel, the private investigator. He says, I am very sorry for you and your family. Thank you, Romel.
Thank you.
Hey, Queen. Roro said, I'm just tuning in, and amen, Sheri. Make it make sense.
Exactly, Ro.
LeSean said she liked him and Snap. Wait, you must be talking about somebody else. Sorry, but no kids. I don't know what you're talking about, LeSean. Yeah, I'm not sure if you're talking about this case, but yeah. He gets a engine and a big engine, and they're both going to make a mountain. I did not delete or retract. Okay. So Lakeisha says she didn't have any more questions. Like I said, Lakeisha wanted a recap, and I just wanted to make sure that, you know, she didn't have any direct questions for you. But oh my God. So you don't have to the two hearings that's coming up, you don't have to be present for those.
The motions hearing, I don't really have to be present for that one. I'll be there on it's the 19th. It's the 19th of August and the 29th of August is what it is. So I'll be there for the readiness hearing. And then, like I said, the jury trial, that date will probably change. So I won't know that until probably later on. Maybe not even until the readiness hearing happens, when the next date is. But they're trying to tell me that we might not actually see actual trial for a year.
Right. That's what I don't understand. Like,
I'm like this. I think I don't understand it either. I think like this is pretty much a closed
case, right?
This is a done deal.
Listen, you got the testimony of his church members. They wrote and told, and he got the copy. Even though the department lost it, the person that originally gave them the information still has the information.
Then all the evidence they have on him. They have
a knife with her in a place that he lived at. He told his church members details that they would not have known otherwise. Like, why?
The DNA, because there's DNA in the house from him and her, because he cut himself. So there's DNA blood.
He went to the hospital.
He went to the hospital.
I just think it gotta be some politics in that. A year?
Yeah. There's just
man.
I mean, I know there's a lot of high profile cases.
Enough already, but I guess you made peace with that. But I forgot you said that. Dang.
Yeah, it's a lot of high profile cases because we've got the boys case.
Mm-hmm.
There's this case. There's a lot of other cases out there in Bakersfield that these detectives and DAs and stuff, excuse me, are they're overworked.
Yeah.
Seriously, and so a lot of the having to put the stuff off is because they're stuck in another courtroom dealing with another case. So yeah, it's going to be a long process. I'm just hoping that once it gets going, that it'll be a done deal and we can get it over with quickly. Like I said before, when it comes down to, and I believe this is going to be the case with the boys as well. Anybody that sits in these two on these two cases as a jurors, they're going to need psychological help afterwards.
Oh man, I couldn't imagine having to be put into a case like that. I mean, that's difficult on the jurors and one right decision. I mean, it ain't in this. Come on, it ain't nothing. But yeah,
it's like this where these cases become where they have such detail, and this man, I can speak on my daughter's case, but I know there's going to be some horrific stuff with the boys probably as well. I wouldn't put it past those two monsters.
Oh my God. I haven't even touched that case since they've been, not really, I know that there's been new information put out and I haven't.
Their trial starts on the 25th.
The 25th of this month?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm going to do something. I wanted to talk to Roro, but I hadn't been bugging her. I know that they can't say so much, but Ro, if you get time, I'll probably do it tomorrow because I've been thinking about the boys a lot and I just want to look up and see what they're saying. I know that the news don't always get it 100% right, but just so y'all know, I am going to do something tomorrow. I'm going to do it because I want to know what's going on. What the news are saying. And of course, y'all get me straight if I say something wrong. So Roro, I'll be talking about the boys tomorrow, just to let you know. And if you want to come up, any of y'all ladies can come up. And I just want to know what's happening,
Yeah.
And
their trial starts on the 25th, so I hope their date doesn't get changed because it's hard enough knowing that the dates, and then you have to wait so long for it to actually start. And in their case, they've got gag orders and things like that. So there's a lot of things that they can't. There's a lot of things I can't say just because. Yeah. But there's even more things that they can't say because of the gag orders and whatever.
And that's why I wasn't bugging them too. I just wasn't. It's like it's different when the people that the case is about. You know what I'm saying? It was different in the beginning, because when I cover any other case, if I'm not involved with the family, it's different. When you are involved in the family, like for me, it makes me be very careful because I don't want to say nothing that's gonna upset you. You see what I'm saying?
Because they have to be very careful to keep the integrity of the case. Because we don't want anything else to go wrong. What we want is for somebody to be able to tell us where the babies are, so they can be brought home.
Exactly.
We know at the end of the day, these two monsters are going to be locked away for life as well. So.
Oh my God.
It's just like with my daughter's case, this monster and the things that he did. So, when it comes down to when the coroner comes in and he shows the pictures and he tells all the details of his findings and things like that. This is going to show the jury what type of monster this man truly is.
Hey, CC.
And
Yes.
that right there is going to be devastating for anybody who has to sit, including myself and my family members, that will be sitting in that courtroom finding out all the rest of the details.
Do you think Desiree's older children will come, or have you?
I won't allow them.
You
No.
won't. Okay. Are you gonna go sit through everything? You are.
For my daughter.
My God.
For my daughter, I will be there. My sisters will be there.
Good.
My oldest son, I'm kind of worried about him, but I hope he can maintain himself and not get himself locked up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to jump over.
Yeah. Oh my God, I get full energy when I see that. A recent case, somebody did that, and I was rooting for him. I'm like, just let him knock him out a couple times, like wake him up and knock him out again. Like I'd be rooting for them. And
yeah,
they
you know, the bailiffs and the judge and all of them, they understand the intensity when family members are in there and they're faced with having to look this monster in their faces, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't want my son to.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want him to go there. He has a lot to lose, so I don't want him to go there.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping that he'll be able to maintain himself, and I think he will. It's just, mentally, it's gonna mess him up.
Well, I know. Okay, so I covered like the Nipsey Hussle case, and his brother said that because that happened like 3 years ago. So they actually hired an attorney to sit in, so they don't have to hear all of the stuff and see the pictures, and the attorney just let them know what's going on. But I know you ain't on that. But I'm just saying, like they did that.
My sister said, and I've told my sisters, I was like, look, I don't want you guys to be traumatized for the rest of your life behind what is going to be presented in that courtroom. So don't feel like you have to sit there. If you feel like you can't handle it, then please go ahead and leave the courtroom.
Yeah.
And my youngest sister, she broke down crying to me. She says, no. She says, I have to sit there. I have to represent my niece.
That's awesome. Is this your sister that just lost her son?
No. That one lives in Israel.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have two more sisters that live out here where I live. And it was my youngest sister. She was like, no. She says, I have to. And my other sister was right there with her. She was like, no, we have to be there in that courtroom. Now, my youngest brother, he told me, he said, look, he says, I don't want you to take offense to this or anything. He said, but he said, I'm telling you now, I can't.
Yeah, he already knows.
And I told, he was very close with my daughter too. So they grew up together. They used to get in arguments with kids at school because they were so close in age, and because, my daughter being black and him white, didn't nobody believe that was his niece, and he was her uncle. And so they used to argue.
Wait, say that one more time. I'm sorry.
My youngest brother and my daughter went to school together.
Okay.
So they used to get in arguments with other kids at the school because the kids didn't believe that he was her uncle and that she was his niece.
Oh, okay. Because he's fully white and she's mixed.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can tell she's mixed, so that's crazy.
Right. But these kids just would give them the hardest time. No, that's not your niece. And my brother was so on the defense about it. It would just make him crazy angry with people. That's my niece.
Yeah,
That's And so he's very close with her. So I told him, I said, just be honest, and that's okay. You don't have to. I understand. I'm not making anybody go up in there. If you feel like you can't handle it, please don't do it.
Yeah, because you can't make any like sounds or anything. They don't even allow you to wear. Well, they probably won't allow you to wear shirts and stuff like that because they'll say it'll sway
with the babies, with the boys.
Yeah. What happened?
Ro and them had went to court one time in the very beginning, and they had their shirts on and their masks like they always wear, and they always represent the boys with their shirts and their masks. Yeah. And they went in there and they told them they couldn't do that because it's intimidating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, intimidating. I thought it'll sway the jurors one way or the other.
Exactly. That too. And so they had to go turn their shirts inside out or something. They couldn't wear them in court. So that's why
she'll be there with you. That's good. Rose says she'll be there with you, Sheri.
Love you, Ro.
And she also said they have enough evidence in both cases, whether it's circumstantial evidence or direct evidence, to where the grand jury charged them enough to go to trial. The pressure is on, and we will get justice. That's for damn sure.
That's right, Ro.
That's for damn.
That's what we claimed at the beginning of the year. So that's what's happening.
So, Private Eye Romel said that it's probably a delay because of the DNA and all of that stuff. They got to test it against each other. And then he also said that he said that the pretrial motions are likely to surprise you, especially when the police are cross-examined.
Yeah, I'm really confident with this case because of all the actual evidence they have on this guy. So he, that was when they did the readiness hearing the last time, and they were setting up the timeline at that point because they had to prove at that point that beyond a shadow of a doubt that this guy was the only person possible to have murdered my daughter. So they had to show that the time that she left her house and the last time I spoke to her, and the fact that I hadn't spoken to her since that phone call, to when the missing person report was made the following morning, and then go to the fact that when this man living in this house, when his wife passed away, that's why they had his old landlord there, that the wife had passed away, and there was nobody living in that house but him at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then when he moved out and the new people purchased the home.
Do you know how long that was? Do you know how long
it's supposed, from what I understand, all I was told it was years later. So I have no idea how long these people, we tried to pull it up and look it up to see when it was purchased.
Mm-hmm.
And haven't been able to really find anything. So, it was purchased years later. I feel for the people having to have their house tore apart like that and finding out in the manner that they did that there was literally a body in their backyard that they never.
Not only was it a body in the backyard, but they had to pull up carpet and her blood was there too.
Found blood on walls.
My gosh, man. What?
But when even when they're trying to clean it up and they're using the bleach trying to clean up all the blood, something is always left behind. Mm-hmm. There's always something left behind, and that blue light is going to come in and it's going to find it.
So even if it was painted over,
mm-hmm. They're going to find it. That's just like a case that was done, and I can't. So I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he had came out on my daughter's case at one point. It was not just my daughter, but for some of the other cases out there. He came out and God, I'd have to look up his name. Paul Dusty was one of the people, and that's also one of the ones that was out there doing with the dog and stuff like that, doing a search and stuff too. At one point, I can't remember this other guy's name. I'd have to talk to Deveree's mom. But anyway, they solved a 20-year case up in the Bay Area at a college where a young lady was murdered in a dorm room. 20 years later, they went in there and they were able to, now, mind you, 20 years, there's got to be a lot of painting, a lot of cleaning and scrubbing and whatever have you, a lot of different people coming in and out of that dorm room. They still were able to solve the case that she was murdered in that room.
Wow.
Years later.
What it's a group on Facebook that actually find all of these mystery cases that they were not able to solve in years and years. And I cannot think of the name of it, but it's an amazing channel. I'm talking about they dive and finding cars. How you doing? They're finding cars in the ocean and all kind of stuff years later.
Yeah.
That's an amazing thing for them to be doing. I wish I knew the name of the channel, but I am subscribed. If I think about it, I'm gonna put it on there.
Yeah.
Because I know that you did not think this day would ever come, even though you never gave up. You went through a lot trying to get this to happen. So, what do you think? What was it that actually made things happen? Because I mean, I remember when you would be on Nina Boy's channel and you was telling us about California and how they wasn't helping. What was the break that happened that made them start listening? Was it the prayer? What do you think it was?
First of all, God answers prayers.
Mm-hmm.
God has been involved in this from the beginning when he prepares you for the outcome. But also, at one point last year, advocates had put together a petition. And when that petition was for the Department of Justice, because we need them to go in there and investigate that police department. And so that's really what the purpose of that petition was. We need you to go in there. There's something going on. Well, at the end of last year, beginning of this year, when everything just started transpiring, Department of Justice was there investigating. Grand jury was there. So now you have your corrupted system that can't be corrupt right now. You can't show your true colors right now because you're being investigated, which allows the detectives to do what they were supposed to do.
Wow. So what was the investigation about again?
We needed them to just go in there and start investigating.
Oh, wait a minute. So from the petition is what got the investigation going?
I believe so.
Wow.
The Department of Justice was in there investigating California PD. And then the grand jury came in. Well, now you've got two big entities in your business. You can't be corrupt right now. So you're gonna have to keep your corruption at bay and go ahead and let these detectives do what they have to do.
So I have a question for you, because what came to mind is this lady. Her name is Denise McClendon. Her daughter she believes her daughter was murdered, right? But they're saying that she hung herself. her cell phone was in her hand. She didn't have the evidence, didn't show to her. Her neck wasn't broken or anything. She didn't have dirt on her feet. It's things that this mother has, and she is trying to. She's calling the police because she don't know what to do. Now, Romel, the private eye, he actually came up on his live and gave the lady some advice that that is something different. Leave the police alone, because once they close it, it's closed. You got to go over their head.
Right.
So what I want to know from you, Sheri, because I it just came to me because you are also starting a podcast to help other people. So I mean, could you give her any advice, or what would you tell this mother?
Exactly what Romel is saying, because you're not going to get. I wasn't getting any justice through dealing with the police department, because they were not doing it. It's excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Excuses all the time. Well, we have officers coming in and out of here. We're understaffed. We don't have this. We don't have that. It's always an excuse of some sort. So if you can't handle a case like this when it comes in, common sense tells me that you should let somebody else come in and handle it for you.
Yes. But in her case, they closed the case. They're telling, I mean, this lady got all kind of recordings of police talking.
I will fight it.
But who do you go to first? I think, is it the prosecutor that you would go? I think that's what Romel said. You go to the prosecutor for
the DA. She could also probably go through contact the Department of Justice and let them know, hey, look, this is what I have. This is what is going on. There's something, this needs to be investigated further, and try to get the case reopened somehow, because don't ever stop fighting. If one thing doesn't work, find something else. Find somebody else. Don't ever fighting.
Oh my gosh, Sheri.
As a mother, you know what your children will do and what they won't do. You know what's normal for them and what's not normal for them. And when you have that gut feeling that something ain't right, your gut feeling is probably right. And you need to continue to fight. You need to continue to fight, because if you don't fight for your child, who else is?
Well, see, that exactly. But
whatever the cops say.
It's just like, you just don't know if you've never been in this. Her daughter in Texas was in Texas. She's somewhere else. She was in an abusive relationship with a girl. She's biracial, so she feels like they don't care because she's black and she was gay. And
I felt the same way.
And this happened like 2-3 years ago. They said they ain't opening the case. She hung herself, blah, blah, blah. She has information that says otherwise. They ain't trying to hear her. So I'm going to make sure that I
to keep go the next step. Try to go to the DA. If the DA doesn't want to hear it, I will go to the Department of Justice and just keep on going until somebody.
Would you be willing to talk to her?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to reach out to her, because y'all could help each other. You are one strong lady. Like, she need to talk to you.
You have to fight for them. When you know that something's not right, your gut is telling you something's not right, then yeah, you have to fight for it, because they're not gonna fight. They really don't care.
As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do a story on her to let everybody know this is ridiculous what this lady is going through, Sheri. I mean, it's obvious the girlfriend had something, allegedly, to do with it. And this girlfriend is so disrespectful to her mother. It's outlandish. Like, I cannot believe. But yeah, so that's a whole nother.
Yeah, that's how I felt, because I literally went in there in 2000 when I went in 2015, and that detective told me, well, he's no longer talking about her husband. well, he's no longer on parole and the warrant expired, we can go and knock on the door, but he doesn't have to talk to us. Well, he's the only person of interest right now because, well, we didn't know about this guy that they got now. We knew nothing about him. So
that blows me away.
And so I'm like, first of all, how does a violent felon just get off of parole and a warrant just expire? But I found out that the warrant that they put on him only lasts for so long. And that warrant is to bypass having to go to the DA because they would have had to have already started building a case on her husband and then go to the DA and present it to him. And then the DA then goes to the judge to get, to issue the warrant. Well, this particular warrant that they put out was called a 𝒯𝒃 warrant, and it bypasses the DA, and that means that the officers go straight to the judge. He's a person of interest. We need to talk to him now, whatever. And so that's what they did. But I never knew anything about a 𝒯𝒃 warrant. I'm thinking that this fool still has a warrant on him all this time. I go in 2015 to find out warrant expired, he's off parole. How does that happen? How did it happen that there was a warrant out for him for an extended amount of time and CDC doesn't even know about it?
What? It's like they don't have connections with each other. That's crazy. They need to get that together.
When that warrant was issued, CDC should have been red flagged right away that their parolee had a warrant out on him. So therefore, there should have been he should not have been off parole. So you failed. Now you're failing again because now you're telling me you don't feel the need to go and talk to the only person of interest.
But when he was on parole, don't they have parole officers?
Yes.
So wouldn't he have seen his parole officer?
No. He didn't. He was on some kind of where they had him where he didn't have to and I don't even understand why he was on this parole, but it was like he didn't have to go in and do monthly reports. So I don't know why he didn't when he is a repeat offender as far as domestic violence. So why did he not have to report?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should have. They should have.
Right.
But see, we ruled him out. Then you know what I'm saying? Like if he didn't have nothing to do with it, they didn't even do that.
Right. But had they went and talked to him in 2015, he probably wouldn't even
look. Oh, wait a minute.
See, in 2015.
Wait, say that one more time.
In 2015, if they had went and talked to him, he may not have even went to jail for anything because, well, there was no warrant and he wasn't on parole anymore, so they didn't have anything to arrest him on. But they could have at least took him in, interrogated him, and realized, you know what? This guy really is not the person we're looking for. Now we can go on and we can look for somebody else. But they didn't do that.
Exactly. It's nothing else. Yes. They didn't do nothing to ease your thoughts. And then he was acting guilty of it.
Yeah, he kept running.
So look, Romeo. Yes, exactly. Everything pointed to him. But I just wanted to say, when you were talking about not knowing how long the people had been in the home and stuff like that, Romel said connect with the Realty Association in the area. They have a massive database.
Okay.
So you might find that information that way. And then welcome in Tay Eats, T Jones and E Money. Thank you guys for coming in. Yes, along with the politicians, Romel said. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, at least they could.
You know, out there, and I find it funny because they always say, you always hear them saying the politics. The politics is their corruption. You know, the politics is the cops' corruption. So that's why, you know, I had to retract what I said about what I said and how I felt about Chief Walker at the time, because, you know, I really thought he was a joke. I really thought he was a joke, but this man really wasn't. He honestly had a clean record, a clean police record. No scars, no blemishes, no nothing on his record
He
whatsoever.
seemed like like when he was talking, and he was always telling us updates and stuff. I actually had a good feeling about him because he seemed like a nice guy to me. But I mean, he was like no other police chief. Like police
And
chiefs don't get up here and give you a play-by-play, doing all these news things he was doing.
But you know what? After I found out about his record, I had to really sit back and evaluate everything, and I was like, you know what? I made a mistake, and I'm woman enough to be able to admit I made a mistake where he was concerned, and I feel like in any of these cases, I think because of the corruption going on out there in that police department, that his hands were kind of tied in a way too, because it's not just corruption in the police department, it's corruption out there with the city officials as well.
Now, Sheri, we found out when he had to quit, you fire somebody twice and the mayor rehires them.
Right,
it's
exactly.
Ridiculous.
Right. You know, so that just tells you right here who the corrupt ones are. You know, it's
allegedly it's the mayor.
You know, there's a whole lot of them out there, and it's sad because, you know, that town could really be a nice town. It really could, but
it was built on corruption, correct?
Absolutely.
So how can you even turn it into a good town?
From the very beginning, when they first started selling the land, and these people were coming out there trying to sell the land and things like that, there was a lot of corruption going on, and there was a lot of people lost money. They were threatened. There was all kinds of crazy stuff happening way back then.
Now, what was I can't remember what was said, but it was something like that happened in the beginning of that town being created. Like, what was it meant for? Like, was it meant to get off the grid type of thing?
No, it was really supposed to be like a little retirement town for people. And you know, they had they still have the golf course and everything there. And it was really meant for it to be basically like a little retirement town.
We're talking about Cal City, California, guys.
Yeah. And I see Romel had put in there, if the police went to parole, they would not need a warrant. Yeah, I wish they would have, but they don't do their jobs out there. That's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah, just when I was thinking, well, it sounds like they just didn't know at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, okay, they just didn't know, because this guy, they didn't have a clue, but they didn't even try, because they could have questioned her husband, and they could have did something with that the church member guy who wrote the note, and it came up missing. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. So and you know, they say they don't know what happened to the letter. So we, you know, at this point, the detective that's on the case now, you know, he can't say whether the letter ever reached them or not, because he wasn't there at that time.
Exactly.
You know, so, you know, I just looked at him when he told me, and I was like, yeah, I said, that's more of the politics, right?
See, when I say politics, I think corruption too. That's what that word means. Politics and bullshit. Those are usually the words I put together.
Right. That's what I thought. I said, that's more of the politics, right? And he just kind of looked at me. He's not trying to give up too much, but it's like what he told me was, you know, he'll stay out there for a couple more years. as long as they keep the politics away from him.
Wow. So, have you talked to the nice detective yet? I know he's not on the case, but I'm talking about the detective that you believed in a while ago. Does he know what's going on? Have you talked to
No, I
him?
haven't had any contact with him.
Oh,
I'm sure he follows the case. So,
I'm
I've just,
surprised he didn't
I
pay.
don't even know. I should have been contacting him by now.
Yeah.
But I've just been so consumed with everything else and really trying to just get my mind straight and trying to comprehend and everything that has gone on. And I mean, you have to, like I was saying in the beginning a little while ago about the when the Department of Justice and the grand jury came in, once they came into town, the first ones arrested was Jacqueline and Giselle.
Mm. And the first one, they should have been the first damn ones.
Boom, right?
And they was on.
We were so happy, that they were arrested, and the grand jury got them, this and that, whatever. Mm-hmm. And Roe was like, "There's his neck, Sheri. There's his neck." I said, "Yep." And so this is how fast they ended up working, because all this stuff happened like in the first month or two of the year.
That's the unbelievable part to me, Sheri.
Yeah,
how close it happened.
That's in January. And New Year. We're claiming justice this year.
Yes.
And then by March 1st, Giselle and Jacqueline are locked up. March 25th, my daughter is being brought up out the ground.
Man, that is amazing. That is amazing. It was meant for y'all to get together. I'm telling you, I seen it happen.
I try to tell people, don't ever give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. I would never give up on my daughter ever, but just for anybody going through any of this, don't give up. Keep in prayer, trust and believe in God, because he's going to reveal everything. He's going to reveal everything.
Thank you so much. That is great advice. And then I want to hear, did anything change with the podcast? Because I want to make sure that people like Denise McClendon will have a person to talk to.
Yeah, no, we're still going to have them, but unfortunately right now, Angel Lee has sustained a loss in her life. A very dear friend of hers. So may that person rest in peace, and much love to
hear that.
And our prayers go out to her.
My condolences, Angelique.
Yeah, so it'll all take place when it's supposed to. So it's coming soon. It'll be up and going pretty soon. So we just want to send our prayers out to her, and everything happens when it's supposed to happen. So
now Angelique was the head of it all, right?
Angelique, yeah.
Okay.
She does the domestic violence. She also owns the Bakersfield magazine. And she's just an amazing person.
She's the one that did that.
Angel is an angel.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear about her loss, man.
Yeah, a very, very dear friend of hers. There's somebody very, very close to her.
Yeah.
So, like I said, our prayers go out to her. But yeah, so the podcast they'll be starting soon. We just don't have a definitive date yet.
But still, you're still willing to because Denise is just like, it just hit me like, oh my God, you could help her, just even by listening at her and just giving her the strength, that you're been living for so many years, man. Like, it gotta be for a reason.
I try every day.
You better be here, Lakeisha. You probably have.
Yeah, I try to I try to incorporate some sort of help to other people on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Because it helps me to heal and helps keep me strong. Because this, by no means, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
Man.
I wouldn't wish this on anybody.
Trust no one, Sheri said.
This has just been horrific. And I don't like to see people suffer. And my daughter's is one case in millions. Just like that, families are suffering and dealing with these losses. It's like every day I'm hearing about somebody being murdered, just in the towns next to me.
This is torture, though. It's torture to not know, right? That I mean, it's hard enough that they're not there with you, but to wonder, have you had any more? Okay, so I was telling people during our interview, Desiree knocked off something off the shelf, and Sheri actually was like, "Okay, Desiree, I know you here," because she said immediately when she was released from that ground, and then she has her around her ring, right? You got a ring, and then her children, some of them had necklaces, right?
There you go.
That beautiful ring. Oh my God! Blessings to the person that bought it. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Has she made any more appearances?
This is what flew off my shelf.
What is that?
It's a little box, and inside it's like it belongs to my granddaughter. So it's like this little thing right here. Let me see. This little thing right here is actually, where to go? Right there. It's actually like a little grill. For a person has a gap.
Oh, really?
Little studs. It's like little diamonds right there.
Yeah.
And this is the little tweezers and stuff. And so it's in a box. It's in the little box, and it was up on my shelf where it was not going to move on its own. And it flew. It flew off the shelf and over here.
Right in front of the camera. And she instantly was like, "Okay, Desiree, I know you here." And then has anything else happened?
Oh yeah, she does stuff every day. Oh my God. She does stuff every day. I know when it's like it's a good feeling for me. It's a good feeling for me to know.
I'm happy to hear that, because some people will be spooked, but you actually know that it's her. You know her personality. Yeah. She was licky face type.
She'd always do crazy little things, but nothing. It's like nothing ever just falls. It's like it's thrown.
Right.
Because it couldn't just fell. This thing flew at me.
It really did. I seen it.
Yeah, and then the baskets over here, they were situated, and I was sitting on the other side of the room. But these baskets were sitting. They've been there for months, never moved. Nothing ever bothered them, and they flew across.
Oh my God, that is amazing. What about the kids? That's something. Are they afraid at all?
They're funny with it because like I told you, my granddaughter, she came in one day. She was like, "Mom," she's like, "My door was locked, and my door opened." And I said, "Yeah, it's okay." I said, "It's just your mom." And she was like, "No, Mom, the door was locked. It was locked." I said, "It's okay. It's your mom. You think she can't open the door just because it's locked? It's your mom. It's okay. Don't worry about it."
That one is deep. That one is deep.
She's watching you.
So has anything like that happened again, like an opening door?
Not the opening of the door, but they see her shadow. They'll see a shadow every now and then, or they'll see something. I see it in the kitchen a lot when I'm in there, when I'm cooking, because that's one thing that her and I always did.
Y'all cook together.
Yeah.
Have you dared to turn that music on yet?
I'll be like, I'll be standing there and I'll feel something and I'll see like a shadow. There's nothing there and there's no reason for anything causing this shadow, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, okay, Des, I know it's you.
What about the music?
Oh yeah, I haven't. Yeah, my youngest son just moved out, so my Des's youngest son, he now has the room, so I'm just getting everything set up so I can start playing, get up, get my coffee, play the music.
I can't wait to hear what happened when you do that. I can't wait.
Our urns are sitting out there, and they're on the shelf, and then I have pictures and that of her and my dad and other family members that have since passed, and I have a eternity candle set up and stuff, and so yeah,
you have an altar.
Oh, we're gonna have a party.
Yeah, you got like an altar then.
Yeah, I'm getting ready because once we move, I'm not gonna do it while I'm here because I know I have to move. So I'm gonna wait until I move. But I'm gonna buy. I found this really nice table that I want to get, and I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna have my daughter's pictures up there, and then I'm just gonna have the urns set up and the pictures of the other loved ones sitting there, and I'm gonna have it all set up with flowers and plants and everything that she liked.
On memorial, but that's like an altar for sure.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have that all set up in one portion of my new house. So
beautiful.
But yeah,
huh?
She's around us every day.
Man, amazing. That is amazing. I mean, I've never heard anybody say that. Like when you were saying that, I was getting chills the first time. Like, oh my God! Like so many people don't believe it, but you believe it when you have experiences. Because I've had experiences not with a loved one that passed, but just seeing things, and so I know that it's real. Like that's why I don't think it's a joke.
I kind of questioned it many years ago, but then when my father had been passed, and my Des's oldest son, we were living out at the house where my dad had lived before he passed, and mind you, my stepmother didn't have pictures of my dad around. My grandson never saw my dad. He'd never seen my dad before. I've never met him or anything, and so I think my grandson was probably maybe 7 or 8. I think he was like 7, and so he kept telling my sister and I about some guy that he was talking to, and I'm like, what guy are you talking to? Stranger danger. I'm thinking, and so we're like, what guy are you talking to? Who is this? He's like, oh, he's a really nice guy. He's older. He has lots of kids and he's got dogs and stuff. And I'm like, who is this guy you talking to? And so, he could never really tell us anything more. And so one afternoon, my sister and I we were just sitting up there talking and stuff. And she decided to go get her photo album and sit down at the table. We sat down at the table and we're looking through the photo album. And a picture of my dad popped up, and my grandson yelled, "That's him! That's my friend! That's my friend!" And he
said, "Oh my God, I got chills!"
And he sits right there with a black cat, and he pointed exactly to the couch where my dad used to sit all the time. And
what?
My dad did have a black cat. Yes.
Wait a minute. Wait, this was your son or your grandson? Because I just got tears.
Desiree's oldest son. Yes.
The one that just moved out.
He's moved out a couple years ago. He's the oldest 25-year-old.
Okay. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
big one. He
Woo.
yeah, he pointed exactly to the couch where my dad used to sit, and then mentioned the cat. The cat was never even mentioned.
Does he? How old was he?
He was about 7 when it happened.
Does he remember that now? Hi.
Yeah,
He does remember that.
he was telling us about that, and my sister and I just looked at each other, and then we were like, "Oh, it's okay. It's Grandpa. That's your grandpa."
Wow. So that's like supernatural to me. That's supernatural.
And my dad that's the only person that we know of that my dad has presented himself to, is my grandson.
Wow. I wonder what made him pick him.
I don't know. I often wondered that too, because my dad and my daughter were very close, but he chose her son and not her to come to.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So, it was,
I hate
really shocked us. So it was just something that we never forgot about, and then that's like, so I told you about my sister whose son had committed suicide a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And so my sister does like I do. I drive around and I talk to Des all the time. If I'm by myself, she's in the car with me and we're talking. And so my sister does that with her son. And so they had came out for a visit this past year. And her and one of her other sons were driving back to the hotel down to LA because they were getting ready to go back to Israel. And so she's driving and she's talking to her deceased son, and she told her other son, she says, "Tell Alani what you want. Tell him, talk to him." And so her other son told him, he said, "Give us a sign. Give us a sign, a bird or something. Give us a sign that you're with us." And so they got to the hotel and whatever, got their stuff up in their room, and they went to go out the side door of the hotel, one of the other exit doors. And as they walked out, there was a white dove sitting on the rail.
Wow, talk about a sign.
Yeah, and so they took pictures of the dove. They sent it to us. They were even able to get pretty close to it. And the dove presented itself a couple of times to them while they were there at that hotel.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, the dove has always been something significant to her where her son is concerned. Jazz just shows up and throws stuff at me. So
that's her personality. She gonna lick your face next.
My face is something, if she did that, I'd probably be really weirded out.
So for the people that don't know, Des used to lick her face sometimes. It would irritate her. It would make her mad. But now she's welcoming.
I wish I had it. I wish I had her. I wish I had her doing that to me. I just miss her personality. I miss everything about her smile, her laugh, just everything, the closeness that we had, everything that we did together that we haven't been able to do anymore, But now, we all of us carry her with us. The boys have the bracelets. Me and her daughter have the rings. So she's always with us. And she's on every adventure we go on. She's with us. Yesterday was my birthday. We went to the kids and I went to the
happy belated birthday. Dang, what was yesterday's date?
11th.
The 11th.
Yeah. So me and her two youngest, we went to the movies. We went out to dinner. She was with us the whole time, So it gives us even more of a sense of closeness that, you know, we do have the jewelry. We do have her with us everywhere we go. You know?
Well, one thing for sure, you noticed the change from when she was released from there. You noticed a change in your household. And that's a beautiful thing.
I knew it that day when I looked at the TV and saw the headlines, California City human.
Was it a feeling? What did you? Because I know you said you've seen this stuff happen before, and you didn't have the same feeling. So, what was the feeling that you got?
It just hit my gut. It hit my soul. It was like.
Did you get like anxiety or a deep sadness? What was the feeling?
It was just like it's hard to explain. It's just like I knew. It's like I've seen all the other times that they were pulling remains and finding remains here and there, you know, out here in this desert. And, you know, I would wonder, is this going to be her? Is this a female? Is it a male? You know? But this time there was no wondering. I knew. I just knew. I looked at that TV and I was just like, this is her.
Wow. A mother's intuition.
This is her. This part is
this is so weird because your mic keep on muting. It's like, I mean, I don't see that it's muted.
I think it's like messages or something going on. Alert.
Okay.
But yeah. It's just it was just I just knew. Looking at that, I just knew. Like, and then
this is my baby. I know it's her.
Right after that is when Matt had messaged me and asked me was I out there, and so
that was confirmation.
Yeah, and I was, you know, that's when I asked her, should I be? No, and I know it in my heart I need to be out there, but just at that point, you know, I'm like, should I be? And that's when he was saying, well, look, the only thing they're confirming is this has nothing to do with the boys. It's an old case. I was like, I said, I'm on my way.
Yep.
You know, and I think that was a breaking point for my granddaughter as well. You know, she started coming out her shell a little more and a little more and a little more, but she actually was out there with me.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
You know, and I told her, because I don't hide stuff from the kids, especially when it comes to their mom. I just don't tell them all the details. Shoot. Because they don't need to know.
I gotta walk away for a second. Sheri, can you hold it down for me?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't give the kids all the details and things like that. So I was shocked that she really wanted to go, but I made sure that she was comfortable with it, and she went. And we were out there for a while before they, and I actually believe remains from the grave before we actually got there. But they didn't even want to confirm it to me that they had found remains until after I had actually left. I think maybe they thought I might react oddly or flip out or something, and you know, that's not even my demeanor. So we were out there for a while, and that they did get remains, and that they had arrested her. They had arrested the suspect. So they did it in a matter of hours. So I commend them for that, because this has been a long time coming. 10 years is too long for anybody to wait for their results of their. I still had to wait for everything to be confirmed, but they knew it was her. I knew it was her. I didn't need the coroner to confirm it. I knew in my gut it was my daughter. And I want to thank everybody for all the support and love that everybody has shown me and my family during all of this that we've been going through and fighting to get answers for her. I love and I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And I will continue to honor her name by helping other people that are in similar situations. So, hope everybody's having. And if there's any questions or anything, I can't go to the chat right now because I don't know. Every time I click on it, I end up getting booted out. So
yeah, that sucks. You don't want to do that. You on your phone, huh?
Yeah. So for some reason, and it doesn't do it all the time, but every now and then, it'll, like, if I try to go to look at the chat or something like that, it'll boot me out and I have to come back.
That's weird because it just says chat, and then the thing is you can't see the chat and the and like the panel as well.
Exactly.
So I really appreciate you coming up. It's getting dark as heck. I need to go in the house. But do you have any closing remarks that you want to share with us?
I was just thanking everybody for all their love and support, and I'll come on whenever I can, whenever I got any updates.
I know, because I wasn't even expecting you to come up. Look, once you came up, I'm like, it's kind of silly to do a recap when we got her here with us. So you guys,
I got an alert that you were coming on. So
did you? So listen, you guys, watch the interview because it's some shocking things in that interview. That was the interview. So you guys watch that and leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you got any questions, she's here to answer. She says she'll come up anytime, and I'll definitely I'm always connected with her. We're connected on Facebook. I can reach out to her anytime. Same here.
Yeah, anybody. My Facebook page is under my name, so they can go on there. They can.
Sheri Smith.
They can message me, whatever.
I'm gonna have Denise message you. I'm gonna tell her about you. I just think y'all got a lot of similarities. Like, her child was mixed, yours too, and she's a white lady, with a mixed child who actually feel the prejudice and racism, and they're telling her she committed suicide when she don't feel that way. There was evidence they didn't collect. Her house was broken into. The girlfriend broke into it. This girl talks to her like she's nothing. I mean, and then she even has a phone call of her daughter crying, saying, "Mom, I want to come home. I'm scared." She wanted to buy a gun. The police have been called to her house so many times from that girl beating up on her, and they didn't even investigate nothing. She need to talk to you, man.
Yeah, and see, that's why I felt, because like when I had went in there to the police station in 2015, I told the officer, I said, look, I said, first of all, if this was your child, you have every child. I said, but because my child is black, you guys don't give a damn.
Exactly.
My daughter is not expendable.
You damn right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my child.
And just like my child, she deserves somebody being out there searching for her too.
Exactly. Exactly. This lady has no direction though. She's created all of these pages, and the thing that got me is she said that every time she creates stuff, it get reported. This girl keep getting her stuff shut down, and she's trying to build traction. She said people don't care about her daughter and stuff, and that's far from the truth. I didn't even know about this. If it wouldn't have been for a fellow content creator, Brooklyn Squad, bringing this to us, I still wouldn't know. And this happened 2-3 years ago.
Wow.
Yes, that's why I said, man, she need to talk to you, because this is 10 years later.
Some advocates that can
Yeah, she need
A
direction.
lot of research for
Yes.
her. These advocates did a lot of research, and I mean that's how they found Edward in Texas.
Mm.
They
Yeah.
sent pictures.
Wow.
They sent me pictures of him.
Really?
Yeah.
Pictures of him actually somewhere, or they found a picture
of him sitting up there at the picnic table with his son, and I think it was his daddy or something.
What?
Yeah. Living a good life.
Wow, that's amazing. See?
Yeah. Because
when you don't have money for a PI, the advocates is the best thing.
They know how to look and search and get into stuff that, I mean, I would still be. I'm so thankful and grateful for those advocates.
You were still what? Because your phone muted right when you were saying that.
I said I would still be stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So without a lot of the stuff that those advocates did, they found stuff that I wouldn't even begin to know how to find.
Wow. I'm loving that. Like, that's something that I might get into eventually. Like, I'm just like kind of on the surface right now, but I could see myself getting a little deeper with it, you know, because it is something in my heart I care about.
Yeah, you know, it's just, I mean, they investigate and they go through things with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah.
You know, so
I bet you they have to take breaks.
Yeah, the things that the detectives should have been doing, they did.
Yeah. Yes. That is what I'm talking about. Having some real help, some real resources.
Yeah, because
that's what she needs.
It sounds like she's just like going in circles right now.
She's going in circles. She don't know what to do. She, as a matter of fact, Brooklyn Squad did an interview with her. I'm about to drop that interview. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop Brooklyn Squad's interview, and you will just hear some of the stuff that this woman is going through, and she don't know what way to turn. Nobody. She's in a whole different city and state too. So it's stuff that she want to get her daughter stuff, and she, you know what she did though? She cremated her daughter, and because she didn't have no way to bury her and stuff like that. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, well, how can they if they reopen it, they don't have anything to investigate because the police didn't collect stuff. They just like made a ruling without even really having the proper information, allegedly, and all this stuff. It's just horrible what she's going.
There should be coroner's reports and
it sounds like the coroner's report is siding with what the cops are saying, and she don't believe for 1 second her daughter killed herself. Especially, she got a recorded phone call of her daughter crying, saying that I think she even said her head got bashed into something dealing with this. She did. This girl was beating her up. So we supposed to believe that she ain't had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Come on, man. And they ain't investigated her at all.
Yeah. And if she's going in circles at some point, if she doesn't get some kind of traction and some kind of answer, she's gonna probably start feeling like she's going crazy.
Yep. I think she's there.
I was getting frustrated. And I know that everything with the, you know, when the boys' case happened, I was like, you know what? This is my chance to try to help them and let them understand what the police department is like out here, but also to get my daughter's name out there and the other victims that are out there, because
what the heck?
Thing needs to happen. You know, bottom line is, to me, that police department needs to be shut down, and they need to put another law enforcement entity in there.
You talking about Cal City?
Yes.
Mm.
You know, Cal City, that one is privately owned. They need to shut that one down, and they need to put in a sheriff department or something else in there And I know there's corruption, and I don't care any law enforcement, but there's an issue when you've got only 3 sworn in officers, including the police chief, and that is their main excuse as to why they can't solve these cases. Well, you can't solve these cases because, number one, you don't have the proper detective. Number two, you don't try to get the help, and when you do get the help, you chase them off.
That's crazy. Don't want the help. That's what that is.
Yeah.
The help is gonna expose them. That's why they don't want it.
You don't care because you had a case that you already had DNA evidence from underneath the girl's fingernails that you didn't process. That's just now reaching the.
That's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I don't get it.
How do they get away with not doing their damn job? That's so upsetting. I'm about to send you this interview to your Facebook Messenger, because after I end this live, the live chat is not gonna be there. So I want to make sure you see it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't understand. If you got DNA evidence, why don't you process it and solve the case? Why wait this many years? The girl died in June of 2016.
But if it was their child, they would want to shut down the whole world until their child is found. And you know what? I just believe that God, he sits high and look low, and everybody that want to be first gonna be last, and they gonna pay for everything they did.
Yep.
I hold to that, because you cannot do wrong and think good is gonna come your damn way. I don't care who you are.
Exactly. It's gonna catch up with you.
You will pay.
I always said God always too fond of pretty, but he sure don't like ugly.
That's right. That's right. God don't like ugly and ain't too fine or cute either. That's so funny. But he don't. He don't.
And
he will pay for messing with God's children.
The dark gonna come to the light sooner or later.
And look at it though, because you was hopeless just probably a year ago, maybe 6 months ago. I don't know. For a long time.
I was going to continue to fight to bring my daughter home, but there's been times that I didn't know if I was ever going to bring her home, if they would ever find her, because I didn't know where to begin to look. But I kept praying. I kept praying and asking God to reveal where she was. We could bring her home.
Thank God, man. I'm so
happy. He's answered those prayers.
He did.
Yeah, my baby is home now, but now comes the task of making sure that this fool never sees the light of day again.
Oh, you ain't got to worry about that. He had all this freedom he gonna ever have. It's over.
Yep.
Die slow now.
And his cocky self. Well, you go ahead and be cocky up in that jailhouse and see where that gets you.
They'll knock the cocky right out of his behind.
Yep. Right.
So
they don't tolerate what he did.
Nope.
He came over here to this country and you done murdered an innocent female that you did not know, she did not know you, never seen before in your life. And the manner in which you murdered her, that'll get you to jail.
Something else is wrong up there, honey. Something else. That don't just happen.
Like baby killers either.
No.
So I'm hoping and praying that Trezell and Jacqueline will be walking around in general population too.
Yeah, I gotta figure out a little bit about what's going on, because I know nothing. Like I said, I'm like, I really don't want to mess with it without talking to Roro and Keish and y'all. And I'm like, but it's just been too long, and I don't know nothing. I gotta talk about them because I don't know.
Yeah, they haven't had court for the last couple months, so
it's been a couple months since court.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's been about a month or two. since they had any court hearings. So
and prayers to Roro because she lost her mom through all of this too. It's like, and then Keish lost her aunt, and it's just been,
one thing after another. It's been at the same time.
Wait, say that again. Your mic.
There's been a lot of losses, but it's also been a big win.
And you lost your mom, right?
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, I lost my mom.
But y'all still fighting.
Mm-hmm. Did you
I
know?
love y'all so much. I do. I love you guys. So happy I got y'all.
Yeah, I feel like Rose's mom and Keisha's auntie, they've all been here up there guiding us. The boys, they're up there guiding us. They're all together. They guiding us.
Because they was fighting with y'all. Like, it's not like they wasn't a huge part of this, you know?
Yep. So,
I know your mom was fighting for your daughter, right?
Yeah, and so, I mean, my mom, she, it's really kind of passed away after we found Des. It's almost like she waited until we knew.
Well, you know what? That's the good part. That she knew. You knew that she knew.
Yep.
Know that she knows.
She was still coherent enough to understand that yes, Des was found and she was coming home.
I don't know what happened to my chat. It just disappeared. Romel said your tenacity is incredible.
Thank you. I
here, Romel, I appreciate it. And thank you for your expertise on Aaliyah's case. Because it's like, okay, so I decided that I was gonna report crime, but I don't know the law, and I have experience with this stuff so much. But as I've been doing it, my 2-year anniversary will be on the 15th. I mean, I've learned some stuff along the way, but I'm not a PI or anything, so I'm still learning. It's okay, Buddha. I figured it was something.
This has been a learning experience for all of us, honestly.
Yeah. But you're more experienced than the average because you've been going through this for a long time, and you know what worked for you now. And so now you can be a blessing to somebody else, and that is the beautiful part,
But through this whole process, the main thing is in the best advice I can give is just don't give up.
Can I ask you this? I know it's been 10 years, but do it feel like 10 years?
It feels like an eternity.
Really? It feels like it's been longer than 10 years?
It feels how close my daughter and I were. And the fact that, we were together all the time. Even though she didn't live in my house at the time when all this happened, she had not been gone from my home that long, and she would still be at my house.
That's what I just said. I told Buddha that because she was surprised, like, wow. So what I said is that she was really only out of the house 1.5 years or 2 maybe, but all her life she had lived with you.
We've been together all her life.
Crazy. I know that's your daughter, but that's like your daughter and your best friend.
That's the same thing with her kids. Her kids have been with me all
your best friend, like people be saying about their kids, like they always with me, but they my broke best friends.
Yeah, literally.
Like yesterday when I lost my dad.
And even right after they got married, they both. Then they ended up. They had a house for a little while. Then they got the apartment, and but she was still in my house. So. That's just the bond her and I had.
That's a beautiful thing.
We're always on the phone. We're texting. We're together. We're eating together. We're doing stuff together. We're always together.
Cooking together was the best.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I thank you so much for blessing this panel, letting their story go out again, and just letting us know that it's hope. Never give up. There's so many people out here that's going through the same thing, and they hear you.
I tell you, when I got weak, and you know, you have that feeling like you want to give up, I just start praying.
Yes.
Start praying.
So prayer was your strength.
Tell people all the time, God will give you the strength. You just have to allow Him to do it. You have to trust and believe that when you ask Him, He's going to give you that strength.
You got to believe it.
You have to believe it.
Yeah, you got to believe it.
He will pull you through some of the most horrific situations, you know. And honestly, that's how I got this far. Trusting and believing in God. When my daughter, I was on my knees, hands and knees, praying every day, praying for my daughter.
To please be found.
Yeah. And, you know, I would let God know, look, I know it's in your time. I know you're preparing me for whatever it is you need to show me. I understand that. And so in your time, I'm being patient, but I'm weary, so I need that strength. And I would just let God know. Just let Him know, I'm tired. I need your help. And He would give
God never gave up. Thank God.
Yep.
And you still here.
You know, and I mean, I almost died through this during all of this. You know, when I got my arm almost chewed off. You know, but God kept me. Because I already know that with in the times that I should have not been here, I'm here for a reason. God has me here for a reason. And I just have to give myself to Him for Him to allow to use me in the manner in which His purpose is for me. Whatever it is, whatever He's got me here for, He has a purpose. And I just have to give myself over to Him. Hey,
use me.
What it is you want me to do so I can fulfill whatever that purpose is. You know, because I know I'm here for a reason. There's just too many times I should not have been here anymore.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely.
And the man above, thank you for being here. Hey, man, I'm glad I caught you live. Good to see you, fam. Blessings to make this go viral, team viral. Good to see you again, Miss Sheri. Yes.
Hello.
You caught it too at the end. We are going to be getting out of here. But like I said, you guys, look at her last interview if you want to know the complete story. Thank you, Sheri, for coming up. I got to get in the house. And much love to you. Anytime you can come up. And I did send you that message so you can look at another story.
I'll look at it. Have her message me or whatever.
I will definitely do that. I'm gonna look her up and send her your information and see if I can talk to her, because you the best person for her. Y'all got a lot in common right now. So
okay, absolutely.
Much love to you. See you next time.
All right, sweetie. Have a good evening.
All right. So you guys, thank you so much for coming and spending this time with us live and listening to Desiree Thompson's story again with her mother and best friend, Sheri Smith. I will make sure that I keep you guys updated on this case. Tomorrow I will be going live about Orson West because I want to know what's going on with the boys. My heart is there. I care, but I didn't want to disrespect the family in no kind of way, because I got mad love for Roro and Keisha Day and the whole team, so I definitely respect them. And we gonna get out of here, y'all. I'll be back tomorrow. Peace and love.